Hey everyone, my name is Seth. You're watching Rayon Tech TV, and today in this session we'll be continuing up on the homepage dashboard design and we'll continue on the UI UX development series. Today we are looking at bar chart and how we can customize our bar chart with respect to dynamic data. And before that, I would be interested to explain you what are the different properties and values for the bar chart. So I was trying the bar chart and here I found that there are various functions that we can use to customize it. So let's have a look. So it says that label bar chart. If we put label position as above, so it will be visible, and if you put it as collapsed, it will be not visible, right? So coming back to putting it as above. Now categories. Now if you see here, categories is a text array. Text to display on the next x-axis next to each bar. So what is the x-axis? This is the x-axis. So whatever text list of text items that you will be putting up here will be visible to the x-axis in terms of categories. Next we are having series. Now series is a list of chart series function that you can put up. Now A-bank chart series is a separate function. So let's jump to A-bank chart series and understand what is the configuration here. So it says that label data links color and visibility. So label is of type text that you can see here, label chart series. Again, data, it is a decimal array value to be displayed for the related series label. So for this series, what will be the data? It will be a decimal array. Array in Appian, anything that you see with curly braces and separated by commas, it is a list, or you can consider that as an array. And one more thing, the indexing in array or indexing in list starts with 1. Just it's not like Java that it will start with 0. It will start with 1. Next, links. Links is just array of links that you can put up with respect to when the user will click on the particular value, how the link will behave. And I'll not go into this level because there will be we will be moving towards the topic. It's good to understand chart series as of now only. Next, we are having color. So any valid value of hexagonal code that you can put up here, or you can put the standard properties of the colors. So both things work. So I have put a hexagonal code for black color right now. So you can see this is black color in terms of the strips of the bar chart. Next, we are having x-axis title and y-axis title. Coming back to the properties of the bar chart, you can see that we are having x-axis title and y-axis title. So we are having title for independent vertical x-axis and title for dependent horizontal axis. So you can see that for x-axis title, I have put the properties x-axis so that it is understandable to you where the x-axis is lying. At runtime, this value can be differing depending upon your requirement. But yeah, just for explanation, I have put it up. Now there is another property called x-axis min and y-axis min. Sorry, there's another property called y-axis min and y-axis max. So min and max defines what is the minimum value of the bar and what is the maximum value of the bar. So as you can see right now, the chart is populating the strip values as compared to the maximum value, keeping it as a benchmark. So if my maximum is 40, so the 22 will somewhere lie in the middle. So that is why it is looking like this. If you want to have the maximum as 100, you can put 100 and then your bars values will look very small. So it depends on how you want to take up with the requirements and populate the bar chart. But yeah, this is a property that you can follow up. Next, stacking. Stacking is like it won't fit in this example because there is a single bar. But yeah, stacking is one of the properties where you can configure like percent to total and more things. Then we are having show legend. If you say that show legend is true, then it determines like if a color legend displays below the chart, by default it is true. If you put it as false, so it will not be visible. So that's the thing. It is true right now. Now show data labels. If you put show data labels as false, it will not be showing the labels of the data. So let's suppose if I show you as example, show data labels, false. You can see here show data labels is by default false, and if you put it as true, now you will see the values behind the each bar, right? Now, show tooltips. It says that determines if a tooltip displays the data value for a bar. By default is true. So if you hover on a particular bar, you are seeing the values as tooltips, right? So if you kind of do it false, it won't be visible. So if you hover now, you won't see any value or interaction as tooltip. Next, allow decimal x-axis labels. So it says that allow x-axis values to display as decimal numbers instead of integers. So it is a property that you can, put it as a true or false, just kind of a simple one. If yes, then you can allow. Yes, if it says that allow decimal axis labels. If you put it as yes, then it will be visible accordingly. Label position I've already explained you. Help tooltip, again, displays a help icon with the specified text as a tooltip. The tooltip displays maximum 500 characters. If the label position is collapsed, the help tooltip will not be visible. So right now our label position is above. So the help tooltip will be visible. So it says that show tooltips is false, but help tooltip, now you can see here as the test value. Next, accessibility text. Now Appian not only provides the development of application when it comes to the users as normal users, we also have to take care of the screen readers. So accessibility text is mainly for screen readers. Additional text to be pronounced by screen readers used only for accessibility. It does not produce any visible change. So when the person who is having low vision or a person who is using screen reader, the person who uses screen readers are those people who are having low vision or they are having no vision, right? So they touch and just they do basic gestures and they use screen readers and the screen readers will read whatever the element that you are touching as a user. So if the user touches this element of the chart, so what should be the accessibility text? So you can specify the text as accessibility text. So if you put accessibility text as bar chart, so next time when the user will touch on the screen, he will be able to understand that yes, this is a bar chart. It is quite simple. You can put any text inside this as a property here as an accessibility text. Next, we are having visibility. So on a particular condition, do you want to show this bar chart? Yes. If you want to be triggered in a basic variable value, if you want to trigger it on the particular logged in user, if you want to show it on the basis of a particular like dynamic condition, anything can be possible, right? So show when is like that, visibility show when property. Next is color scheme. So there are various color schemes. If I put berry, let's see. Now because my color is available here, it's not popping up. Now you can see the berry. Berry is the color scheme. Uh, you can put midnight also. Next, height, micro, short, medium, tall, auto. So height is short right now. If you put auto, auto will adjust the container, right? So right now it will be adjusting my viewport. What is viewport? The screen width, and it will adjust the entire screen width. Now if you use this bar chart code inside this main UI dashboard, it will adjust the width accordingly. So that is why I have used auto, right? Next, x-axis style and y-axis style. So these are textual values. You can try it on your own, like standard, none, and then standard, minimal, none. Then we are having data. So reference to the record type used for the source of this chart can accept ABANG record data or a record type reference. So it refers to the data fields, right? So as you can see, the chart is populating with respect to anything that you have configured. One second, I'm getting call. Yep. So we were discussing about data. So you can use the record data function to populate the data coming from, populate the record data for this bar chart. So again, that's a separate topic. We'll be seeing it later. Chart configuration. So you can use this bar chart config child function against this property chart configuration, and it says that config, right? Bar chart configuration configures how to display the data on chart, including fields used for calculations or grouping. You can use abank bar chart config. So it is a related function where it is having primary grouping, secondary grouping, measures, sort, and data limit, link, and show time intervals with no data. So just giving you as an example, this is a detailed way of putting up primary grouping, field, alias, interval, and you can use it for that, for detailed implementation of grouping, alias, how it's gonna be. That's it. Keeping up with the basic bar chart, I don't want to put it as of now. Let's continue. Yeah, then there is refresh always, refresh after. Just like we are having a bank refresh variable, right? We are having basic properties with respect to that. So we are having these values pertaining to that. And yeah, allow image download. So by default it is false. If you say allow image download, so if you put it as true, so your image download will be okay. Is it okay? Sorry, my bad. It is already there on the top. So if you do it as true, you can click on this and your bar image will be downloaded like this. So this is all about the basic understanding of bar chart component. Now let's copy this and make it uh, dynamic. In terms of making it dynamic, let's see what we can do. Let's copy this abank local variables, local bank test, and put your value. Now this value should be coming from your database, right? So in order to bring the value from the database, let's create a new expression rule. Chart data, click on query builder, search. Do we have VOF customers? Yep, we are having VOF customer DOC. Now we are having different values, right? Test query. We can group the data. We can group the data based upon the tiers, right? And we can get the names of the let's see first make sure the values are proper. We will be using index function to handle the null cases. Sorry. So we can use the name count to display the values, and we can use the name to display, so we can use a tier to display the, like, which tier it belongs, first tier, second tier, and third tier. So I think this is decent, like, to get the data and get the null values using index function, and here is the query. So I think this rule is ready to be utilized, and we'll close this one, and let's see how we can get the data from here. So as you can see, we are having the list of dictionary here, right? So instead of this local bank data, we can do local bank data colon rule bank UP chart data, and let's see. Now we are getting three items, right? Tier and name count. Now tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 can be our categories, right? So instead of these values, let's put local bank index, local bank data, and what will be the index? Tier, and by default it will be an empty series, right? So here you can see you are getting tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. One thing we have to set up here is tier is an ascending order. So if we do tier 1, 2 and 3 and save changes, and we can test here. So as you can see, we are having the tier here as tier 1, 2 and 3. Now we have to populate the value for that tier, right? So for this chart series, instead of this chart series, we can write customers, right? Customers with customers with tiers. And instead of this data, we can do local bank index data name count. So as you can see, the name count is being populated, and there are few configurations that we have to take care of. For example, I was explaining you the reference line. So now I have configured the data with respect to the dynamic data. We are having the tier for categories, and we are having customers with tiers as like name count, the values. So now we have to add, like modify the min and max. So as you can see, 9, 11, 6 is there. So let's keep the max as 30, and let's keep the reference line as 15, and help tooltip is not required for us right now. X-axis and Y-axis title is not required. And yeah, we are good to see our chart now. Let's save it. Now just to give an example, we need not to use local variables in our main code to populate this, but I'm just giving you a very simple example that how we can create the bar chart with dynamic data, as you can see here, and we can utilize this inside our main home page. If you see in the expression area, you won't see any kind of, you know, local variables created. So rather than calling this here, we can directly call our rule here. We can paste it here and here. So the dependency of the local variable will be not required, right? So let me directly copy this one now and save it and paste it here. If you put it here now, you'll see that your bar chart is there. But yeah, the height is auto here. That is why it is occupying the container height. So if you do it short, then it will automatically adjust the size. Now you can see this gauge field that we have done earlier and the bar chart. They both are dynamic in our dashboard. So in the coming series, we'll be seeing more components of the UI design part. And if you really like my session, drop a like and drop a subscribe. Thank you.